Why don't you ever see cockroaches in chicken coops? It's a fair question. Chickens are messy. Their coops are full of feathers, droppings, spilled feed, and dirt. If any place should be swarming with insects, it's there. But here's the thing. Cockroaches don't stand a chance. Anyone who's ever raised chickens knows the truth. These birds aren't just farm animals. They're relentless hunters disguised as livestock. A chicken wakes up every morning with a simple mission: search, scratch, and destroy. From the moment their feet hit the dirt, they begin tearing through the ground with a precision that feels almost mechanical. Their claws dig, their beaks strike, and their eyes scan for the slightest movement. Food. To a chicken, movement means one thing: food. It doesn't matter what it is. A worm, a beetle, a fly, a spider, even a baby snake. If it twitches, it gets eaten. No hesitation, no mercy. Chickens treat anything alive and small enough to fit in their mouth as a walking protein bar. This isn't an exaggeration. Chickens have been known to hunt mice. They've pecked frogs to death. They will rip centipedes apart like living spaghetti. You could drop a cockroach in front of them and watch it vanish before you finish blinking. And they don't need you to feed them bugs. They'll find them. Their claws aren't just for walking. They're natural excavation tools. Chickens scratch at the ground not because they're bored, but because they know something's hiding underneath. Larvae, pupa, hidden eggs, roots. It's all part of the buffet. Give them enough time and enough space, and chickens will strip the ground bare, not just of grass, but of life itself. That's why too many chickens on a hillside will turn it into a dust patch. Within weeks there's nothing left. No weeds, no worms, no seeds. Just silence. So what happens when a cockroach wanders into a chicken coop? It disappears. Fast. It's not that the coop is too clean. It's that it's too dangerous. The moment an insect steps into that space, it's already being hunted. Chickens don't sleep on the job. They don't ignore intruders. They react instantly, with terrifying accuracy. And here's where it gets even better. Chickens are direct descendants of dinosaurs. That's not poetic license. That's evolutionary fact. They evolved from theropods, the same group that gave us raptors. And some of that ancient predator instinct is still very much alive. Their eyesight is sharp. Their reactions are immediate. Their strike speed is ridiculous. A bug doesn't get a warning. It just stops being a bug. Think about the size difference. An average chicken versus an insect is roughly the same scale as a dinosaur versus an early mammal. So when you watch a chicken peck a cockroach into oblivion, you're seeing a prehistoric drama playing out in miniature. And cockroaches. They're not stupid. They can sense predators. They avoid danger. So they stay out of chicken coops. Not because they can't get in, but because they want to stay alive. And even if they try, it never lasts. Because chickens are always watching, always scratching, always ready. Now, you might be wondering, if chickens are so good at pest control, why don't we let them loose everywhere? A funny story. We used to. There was this thing called orchard chickens, where farmers let chickens roam freely in fruit groves. It worked for a while. Chickens ate bugs, fertilized the soil, kept the ecosystem balanced. Until they didn't. Turns out, chickens scratch so aggressively that they loosen the soil too much. Water evaporates faster, tree roots dry out, and the trees begin to die. Add in the fact that chickens poop constantly, and you've got another problem. Their droppings, full of nitrogen, mix with the freshly disturbed soil and start fermenting. That fermentation creates heat, sometimes over 140 degrees Fahrenheit, enough to literally cook the roots of fruit trees from the inside. So yeah, chickens are powerful. Maybe a little too powerful. But that's what makes them survivors. They eat everything. They waste nothing. They adapt fast. They don't rely on you. They bring their own instincts, their own tools, their own war against the insect world. That's why they're everywhere. Every continent, every climate. From desert villages to snowy farms, chickens have spread farther than almost any other domesticated animal. And it's not because they're cute. It's because they're efficient. So the next time someone tells you chickens are dumb, harmless little birds, remind them what happens when a grasshopper hops into a coop. Or when a centipede dares crawl across the floor. It's not a battle. It's an execution. And that's why there are no cockroaches in chicken coops. Because nothing survives in the home of a predator,